Hey guys, Nathan Brandon Masters. If you like the content, subscribe to the channel. You know we're trying to get that initial 1,000 subs. I do art commentary, art tips, things of that nature. Somewhat like Creep Show art, but with more art, less creep. Trying to build a channel up, make that Kelsey Rodriguez money. You know what I'm talking about. So let's get into this video. Now, everybody is still going crazy over Pewdiepie's progression with his art. Everybody wants to know, how do you do it? If you want to know this, how to really progress in your art, I believe I have the perfect video for you if you're interested. This is from a creator named Tim McBurnie over at the Drawing Codex. He's a professional illustrator and he's self-taught. So a lot of you probably are interested in that aspect. If nothing else, I'll put the link to the whole video in the description. But here's a little bit of what he has to say.
I think the most important thing here is to get on track and get to a point where you're actually making progress and you can see that you're making progress. This is something I've dedicated quite a bit of time to mentoring students over the years, and I found a number of things that I think work well as a framework. This is what I want to share with you in this video, where we talk about how you can make your own drawing/art master plan.
Now, if you notice, I keep coming up with people like this, old schoolers who have this kind of information that they can give. So this is not a video for the TikTok artists, the Twitter artists who want to start drama and be mad. Oh, you drew a picture and it looked like this, or I don't like this style and I need to fix your art. You didn't make that character dark enough or light enough or whatever the foolishness is. This is a video for serious artists who want good information.
First big part of this is about the motivation and sort of passion and inspiration side of this. This is an element that's easy to forget. It's easy to skip over, and it's something that sort of wanes over time. You can feel inspired one day, uninspired the next, but we need to feel inspired every day because art requires of us a lot of passion, a lot of ourselves, a lot of our emotions. That often is what makes the difference and makes people interested in our work. It's also what is likely to make you get up every day and draw. So the motivation side of it, I think, is the first most important aspect to get right. And we'll talk later in the video about some tactics and specific things you can do to make sure that this easily happens every day.
Now, that's something that I've talked about before. It's like I don't have that passion to actually get up and draw. Like, if I have an idea for a book, I'll get up and draw like that. Get up, draw immediately. It's not a thing, no problem. But to actually draw every day in a sketchbook, I'm just lost on that. Like, I drew something this morning. You know, I've been drawing for the past few days, but realistically, like I've talked about before, the way my mind works, I don't connect drawing in a sketchbook to reward. Even though I understand drawing in a sketchbook allows me to keep my skills up and things like that, my mind just doesn't click with that. It says, no, what is the reward for this? So I've started doing little things like I say, hey, you know, if you do enough sketches, you know, you can sell your sketchbook. You know, you can make a sketchbook and sell that sketchbook. You know, you make enough sketches. Well, now the problem is, well, I want to make these great sketches. I want to make these over the top kind of sketches, which isn't necessarily what your sketchbook is for. That's, you know, the type of stuff you see on YouTube. People are like, I'm going to give you my sketchbook tour, and they have all these beautiful sketchbooks. You look at my sketchbook looks like pure hell. I've done sketchbook tours on here. My sketchbook looks like a hellish nightmare. So, you know, it's one of those things. So that passion is important. You got to create a reason for you to want to draw every day, to have that Pewdiepie progression that everybody wants.
The second thing here is understanding that art happens in a creation loop. There is a loop of first having an idea for what you're going to create that is often based on your inspiration and your motivation and why are you here as an artist? What do you care about? Again, is it video games? Is it manga? Is it comics? Is it drawing funny, cartoony, colorful stuff? Is it drawing sort of awful, horrific things that no one has seen and no one wants to imagine? What is it for you? That starts the idea.
This is why I can jump up and do a whole project, because that's something I'm passionate about, but then go back and not do the sketchbook stuff because I'm just not passionate about that. So how do you get passionate about something like that?
There is a process by which you create art. Now, there is also a stage at the end of that process where you call it done. It's also important in that loop to understand that in order to get good perspective on the work yourself, you have to put it out into the world in some way, shape, or form. This is really important because if you don't, then I feel like it's always possible to view it as like, oh, you know, that's sort of something I did, but I didn't put all of my effort into it, or one day I'll get better. It's important to understand where you are at this point in time. Calling something finished, putting it out into the world is a real clear signal to your subconscious mind and your conscious mind that that is what you have created and that is the best you could do given those particular circumstances.
Now, this is where I come down on a lot of young artists, because this process is important, putting your work out there to people. And I don't think a lot of young artists want to give constructive criticism. They want to bother people and be mad at people. I think a lot of young artists are also very jealous, which, you know, a lot of that comes with youth. I know a lot of these artists are actually teenagers, 13, 14, 15. A lot of people aren't even in their 20s. And some of them are over 20 and just act like a child. So you have to be aware of where your criticism is coming from. But criticism, either good or bad, is helpful in your art journey. It helps you to get better. And sometimes you just need to have people rooting for you.
Like, I'll draw for 30 days, I can show the first day, and then I can compare it to the last day. That will be interesting to see. Did I make progress? People were so encouraging on the video, and I really enjoyed picking up drawing, so I kept going.
And I think that kicks off the next little sort of arc of the creation loop, which is where you consider what maybe you could have done better next time. It's this sort of constant iteration that is similar to the process of evolution of species, but also of your skill set. We need points of failure. We need things to assess that are real, not maybes, not ifs, not woulda, shouldas, but things that you know you need to improve so that next time you can do it better.
Again, this is things that I talk about, in different discussions, but the same kind of ideas, having something that is tangible. We have a lot of concepts in art that aren't tangible. They sound good, but they don't really mean anything to anybody, objectively. You have to have something that is tangible. This is what I know I'm not good at and I need to work on. This is something that I'm pretty good at and maybe I can get better. When you have those kinds of things, that will help you improve, just like you saw Pewdiepie do. And that's what helps you improve quickly.
Future, past self. Damn, I drew so hard I can't erase. Damn, such a simple change and it's already so much better.
So, just like that, he says, okay, I used to do it like this early on, and now I do it like this. So he learned and he started changing things. He can now see this wasn't exactly up to par. I can fix it this way. So those are tangible things he can see that he can, he can go back to his old stuff and make that change because he can see the problem.
As we sort of move into the last phase of a creation loop, you essentially take all of the knowledge that you've gained from this sort of previous creation loop and you feed that into the next idea you have. And it's this loop of sort of taking all of those concepts that will start to build momentum and also guide a lot of your efforts.
There's a lot of good stuff in this video. I think you're really going to enjoy it, especially if you're having trouble progressing in your art. Watch the video. I think you're really going to like it. It's really going to be helpful. You guys take it easy. Nathan Brendan Masters. Awesome.
Don't look back, we're here to stay. A life we knew would come one day. And this is it, the borderline to where the future leaves us behind. The fire will burn.